Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video. And in this video, of course, I've been doing this again. Once again, I've been a bit on a recent tear recently with these. So yeah. So in this video, I want to talk about this, which is some AFL 23 news. AFL 23 news that was regarding to the launch party that was a few days ago. As I'm recording this, the party was on a Wednesday night, and I've seen some early gameplay shots of it as well. And the game just looks fantastic. It just looks great, in my opinion. And then also others came around as well, like AFL players, AFL YouTubers as well came down to test the game as well. So came down to test the game. So yeah, and all these screenshots I've got, some of them are from other YouTubers' videos. Just borrowing them just to give you guys a bit of an insight into what I think the game play will look like. So first of all, the cover stars for the game were revealed, which is of course going to be Christian Petrarca and Darcy Vescio. I was not. I know. I said about a few weeks ago that I predicted that Dangerfield and Aaron Phillips would be on there. But deep down, I wasn't surprised that Petrarca was named as the cover star, because he said in a lot of interviews he dedicated a lot of the AFL YouTubers that were there on the launch party, a lot of the YouTubers, and he said, well, he's played a lot of FIFA and NBA 2K, and to be a cover star of a game like this is. He didn't say it, but from what I've heard it was basically a dream come true for him to basically be on the cover star of the game. And for Darcy Vescio, I couldn't have imagined her. I did say Aaron Phillips, but some people had said at the time when this game was announced, and everyone was predicting who's going to be the cover star. Everyone was predicting Daisy Pearce, and I was like, there's no way, because she's recently retired. So why would they put a recently retired AFLW player on the cover? It's like basically putting Gary Ablett Jr. in amongst some of the AFL Evolution 2 2021 season pass stuff, for example. There's just no point. So some of the true pioneers from the AFLW, as I said, Aaron Phillips and all that, but I wouldn't have guessed Darcy Vescio would be one on the cover, and not surprisingly, because if you guys don't know, the Carlton AFLW side is one of its major sponsors is Big Ant Studios, and how appropriately the CEO Ross Simmons, who how appropriately actually he supports Carlton. So that's not surprising that there's a Carlton player on the cover. Not surprisingly about that, but yeah. So now these screenshots I took of the actual trailer itself. So yeah. Not in exact order, just some of it's in order, some of it's not. So the first one here is of Isaac Heaney going to take a specky and this picture here is the animation of the Specky, and I think it looks rather nice there. You can see Ben Mackay getting absolutely stomped on, and then obviously in the background, if I go back, you can see that is Tom Packley there. He looks a bit angry. There is Tommy. So maybe he's a bit jealous that saying, "Hey Isaac, maybe I should have taken that grab, mate." But Heaney, we all know, is a great grab as well. The cover star of the game, one of them, Christian Petrarca, at the mighty MCG, which is against the Bulldogs. You can see by the two players. Now, the one thing I like about this, as I said about those two players, it looks like they're steady now. One of my criticisms from Wicked Witch's AFL Evolution games was the fact that if you took a set shot, for example, players would just run all over the place. They even run across the mark. They would sometimes, stupidly sometimes, when you take a set shot, just about when you kick the ball, a player would just come out of nowhere and it will just basically break the game for about 10 seconds. That's the one thing I noticed about recent AFL, especially with AFL Evolution 2. So it looks like that might be fixed now with AFL 23. So yeah, Collingwood. So the Collingwood huddle. Yeah, you can see with the face scans there. You can see there's Quaynor, there's Tom Mitchell there. There's Taylor Adams, Brian McQuarrie in there as well. There's Hill, there's Bobby Hill there as well. And I would assume that I think that's Josh Dacos. I think. Any of these, I don't see any of Nick. I don't see any of them in there. Maybe that might be Nick. I don't know. You could tell that is going to be still side bottom. You could tell because of his bald head. Yeah. So that is pretty good. And I like that the jumpers look realistic by the wrinkling as well. I like the really, and also the shorts too. The wrinkling in both the the Guernseys and the shorts as well. That they look. Which is a big thumbs up. I know it's a bit nitpicky, but yeah, just because of that. You see here's Patrick Cripps there. You can see here there's Jack Silvani, SOS, son of Sauce, there. Looks quite nice there. You can see, I believe that is Wiedering. I can tell from the back of his head there, and yeah, so yeah, and it just looks nice as well. That's probably MCG at night, so pretty good there from Big Ant. Not much there to discuss there really. I like maybe I explained this when the initial screenshots came out, and I've noticed this as well just now. The sweat on the players. I would assume it has to be like later in the game or just before the start of the third quarter, because I don't think, because if it was before the start of the game, I know there's some like Buddy Franklin that have the body oil, not have the oil on their arms. But normally not all players do that. So I don't know whether or not this is actually from the start. Maybe it's the start of the third quarter. I don't want it. Probably not the start of the game, because if it's at the start of the game, then the sweat would not be on them. So yeah, but you never know. It probably might be is the start of the game on that. So Ben Mackay, not Ben Mackay. Apologies there. Harry Mackay, and and Darcy Moore as well. You can see just like the fact that they've added Darcy Moore with the long hair because they didn't have that, because I think he had got the short haired version of him in AFL Evolution 2, but this one, the long hair and also with the headband as well. Of course, Harry Mackay just looks Harry Mackay, basically. And of course, as well, again, the wrinkling on the jumper looks quite, makes it look nice as well. So yeah, that I believe is a good screenshot. AFLW game, of course, Port Adelaide. The one, which is at the Adelaide Oval, by the way. The one thing I do like, and I don't know if I'm being harsh about AFL Evolution 2's banners, but they looked too perfect for me, and I'll explain that in a second. But as you can see here, the letterings are not basically like straight, like they're not straight. You can see there one is one getting the other, and that's the one thing I did notice about it. And also the banners look, as an animation, look pretty much better than AFL Evo 1 and 2, because in Evo 1 and 2, they just look like basically like 100k an hour wind just attack the banner as they run through it. And in actual fact, I think if you look closely in the trailer, I believe when they run through or any of the gameplay stuff they got from the launch party, it looks like some of the players are animating like go like that. As they go under the banner. That's another little tiny touch that Big Ant have added in, which is great to see. So yeah, but still, but the banner it still acts like it's sort of attacked by the wind, but it's not as bad as it was in AFL Evo 1 and 2. It wasn't not as bad here. Hopefully they do improve on that in future years. Jack Darling, they're celebrating. I would assume celebrating a goal. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. Bit of wrinkling there in the jumper. And there's been so many celebrations also in the game. I remember looking up on one of the Insta stories on Instagram. Can't remember who it was. I think it was from the official AFL account, and it had Jacob Hopper doing this. So I wonder if they're gonna have like individual celebrations, goal celebrations, like Charlie Cameron's got the motorbike. We haven't seen that, but hopefully we see him. I'll be very disappointed if they don't have, don't have the motorbike celebration for Charlie Cameron, but a lot more celebrations there. CJ Gresham kicking, I would assume a kick for goal. Of course you have Bailey Dale there. You got Jack Steele there as well. And the one thing also I've just noticed is the leg here. So much like detail in the leg there. Just the way when it kicks, you see the muscles, muscle and that, and a bit of the vein there of the knee. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what these are, but yeah, I believe that and also the shine on the ball as well just looks nice. It just looks really nice, really in this. Tim Membry and I just said the wrong brother again. I'm not good with mentioning brothers' names. I'm not good in this video, guys. Sorry about that. Max King and Tim Membry. how appropriately, two key forwards in real life for St Kilda who are out at the moment. This one I for some reason I don't necessarily like. More so down. Well, I do like the crowd there. I did tell in the previous AFL 23 video I did about the screenshots that I like the crowd. Memory space, I think looks good, but the one thing I don't like is Max King's hair. I hope they fix this before the release of the game. It looks like that. It looks like I don't know. It looks like his hair's just. It looks. It looks all over the place. It looks all over the place to me. It looks like, someone's just mid-game, it's just gone like this. It's just gone like that. And yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about this. But other than that, it just looks great. Another celebration there as well in the crowd. I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. The crowd just looks magnificent. AFLW, another AFLW game, Essendon and Hawthorn. The one thing also I've noticed as well is the amount of sponsors that they've put. I'm still a bit jury's out on that. Some people might say, "Oh, it's unrealistic because there's not many of those sponsors aren't going to be advertised in those positions, as ad boards in real life." And then some people are like, "Oh, that means it could it showcases the league sponsors." That's the one thing I like about it. To so to speak, but other than that, I think it just reminds everyone of the major partners that the AFL has. So yeah, some people might say it's a bit unrealistic having all those sponsors all the way around the ad boards, especially in the third tier here, for example, at Marvel Stadium, but it just showcases the major partners of the game of AFL football and the league. This one I like more so because, of course, as you guys know, I'm a big Essendon fan. Essendon running through the banner, and I said this earlier in the Port Adelaide, the screenshot I took. And this one's more accurate here. You can see, look closely at the we. As you can see, the W is bigger than the E, or actually, it looks like it's moved. So it looks like that, which all banners do that, because not all banners are going to be perfect right. They're going to be perfect writing. So that's why I said earlier about AFL Evo 1 and Evo 2 having their banners a bit too perfect. In terms of their banner designs, but you can tell pretty much who people are. You can tell there's Heppels, there's Thatcher. I think that is 2 Meter Peter. I think. You can see Jake Stringer in the background. I would assume this here is Zach Merritt, obviously leading the pack as he should be. Laying them out at the wonderful MCG. So yeah. This one is massive. So this is Darcy Vesio kicking a goal at Icon Park, aka Princess Park. I'm just gonna say Princess Park. And as you can see, it's brought to life in all its glory in AFL 23, obviously, because obviously. I'll get to the full features list in a minute, but yeah, obviously, Princess Park is one of those featured stadiums that are going to be in the game. So yeah, I wonder if it's going to be playable for the men as well, not just the women. I wonder. I have no idea. Probably since it's a part of the stadium feature, and of course, obviously, some practice games also are played at Princess Park as well. I would assume the men will play. It'll be both available for men's and women's games as well on matches, I should say, on this game. But yeah, you can tell that it got overboard on the well, not overboard, but you can see with the advertising for their partners as well, which is great for the AFL pretty much. So yeah, said you see Tom Lynch here. He's celebrating a goal. Yeah, just another example again of the amount of celebrations that are going to be in the game. And it's not a bad face cam, by the way, of Tom Lynch. I've seen it in the trailer, and it looks quite nice. In this screenshot, you have Lockie Neal stepping around Jagger O'Meara. I can tell by the number 2 on his back. I think it's Jagger O'Meara, I believe. I think he has number 2, I believe. Yeah, and you can just about see. I've been wanting to see whether or not with the screens, like they added this in AFL Evolution 2, where it looked realistic if you had if you had the big screen on, for example, it'll have the score on there. It will be the exact scoreboard design on the big screen that it is in real life, which is a good thing in AFL Evo 2's case. I wonder if it's going to be the same thing for AFL 23. And by the way, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Lockie Neal looks 100 times better than he was on AFL Evolution 2. I don't know why in AFL Evo 2 he had blonde hair. I do not know why about that. Next screenshot is the Essendon Carlton heartbreaker, as I like to call him, Jamie Elliott. Absolutely juking one, as we all know. Again, just from the jumper, creasing and that. So of course he's tattooed there. Sorry that these screenshots I took of the trailer video on not the best quality. I'm talking them straight from your phone, so yeah, and it's a very good animation too. I'm sorry that this screenshot almost looks like that he's doing star jumps, but yeah. Next one, you got Toby Green celebrating a goal. This one here, just the crowd just looks even better. I'm gonna be repeating myself about that, but all the crowd just looks better than what it has been. And Big Al, I believe, have done an unbelievable job with the game, and yeah, so and I like the fact that I like the fact that they did this a bit of AFL Evolution 2, where they sculpted the face, so you can see when you open their mouth, but and I like and it looks nice too, and I like the crease in the face when their jaw opens. That's what I've noticed as well, and yeah, so I like this screenshot too. Joe Danaher, former Essendon player, there, celebrating a goal. Most likely it's West Coast, judging by the fact that is probably the West Coast cheer squad in the background. Would have loved to have seen Richmond instead, because it would have been realistic to the elimination final last year. It looks like that, because the one thing I also don't like is the fact that this screenshot must have been taken between. It probably must have been like somewhere in the off season, because Danaher doesn't have short hair. Maybe cuts it on occasions, but he doesn't really have. I've never seen him have shaved his hair completely, and it looks like he has, and then maybe it might change at some point. You never know with that, but yeah, and I like the and I like the design of this screenshot. Buddy this time, and even quotes to, as you see the mouth there. The one thing also I've noticed as well is, if you look very closely, if you pause it with this, and it's that moment when his jaw opens, he doesn't have his mouth guard. I might have to check out the others which do have their mouth open during, for example, a play, but he doesn't have his mouth guard in. So I wonder if potentially maybe potentially they do have mouth guards in the game, and maybe for example, you take a set shot, for example, maybe it's an animation, maybe they take their mouth guard out and then maybe place it in their sock, or place it somewhere, place it in their shorts or somewhere. That's another little nitpicky thing, but that's one thing I noticed as well. And then that was of course the tattoos look great on Bud as well. I would assume this is based off the AFLW Grand Final, which was of course Melbourne winning against Brisbane. It's them celebrating, and Brisbane Lions players being disappointed in the background. I don't know where. I would assume it looks like the MCG. I don't know. I hope you guys can comment down below where that stadium is. But you can see just a different celebration, and I hope the celebration, the end of their post-game celebrations, are different from a regular match compared to, let's say, a grand final, for example. Hopefully they change there. Jack Henry, next screenshot. This is based off the grand final, I believe, as well. Jack Henry, and because you can tell by the crowd, there's a bit of red and white. So that's from Sydney. So this is based off the grand final. You can see, in the background you got Ken Guthrie there. I can't tell who that is. Maybe it might be Tom Atkins. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know really, but you see there, there's Jake Kolodjasny and of course Jack Henry jumping into his arms, pretty much. Probably it's part of the celebration as well. There, so yeah, and there's a Geelong player here just running around. I don't know why he's running around there. See here, Brad Close. And I like the fact that he has his long sleeves, because he always wears long sleeves. So like the fact that, and then also, if you look closely right here, you can see there's Chris Scott, and I'll get to the coaches in a sec. But also, and also one thing I've noticed here, and I'll circle this in this next photo. Look at this here. There's a bit of the railing of the dais for the grand final. So I wonder if the grand final presentation of the post grand final is going to be an animation in the game. I wonder if that's going to be the case, because judging by this, because maybe I don't know. Maybe this is when it's when Brad Close maybe gets his premiership medal, maybe, or maybe this is when he's won the Norm Smith, maybe. But of course, Isaac Smith won it, so yeah. So that is a bit strange there. But that, as you can see right here, that is pretty interesting, really. I don't think anybody has noticed it really in that trailer, obviously. But now these are the big ones. These are the big ones. So this one's a massive one. This has never been in any AFL game. The fact that this after you've won a game, of course you sing the team song. Obviously, finally it's going to be in an AFL game. So this one is Richmond. You can quite clearly tell. You can tell who they are. You can tell that's Dusty. I'm glad that they've got rid of that old face scan of Dusty, and they've got a current version of him. You got Jack Revolt there. You got Dion Prestia. You can tell that's Tim Taranto. The problem I have with this face scan is different people. There's people, looking sideways, and they're looking this way, they're looking that way, and there's a couple of them in this section here, and the other one being Jacob Hopper is looking up like that. Yeah. I just wish that maybe they might fix this before the game comes out, or maybe in a patch they might do this where they basically just like yada 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 yada, and just look around and just look around and look around each other and look at each other while they're singing the song. I think it'll be great. I think that'll be great. But anyways, I think it's great there. Oh, and also Tom Lynch as well, and Dylan Grimes, Broad as well. Yeah, you could just basically tell who they are, who these players are. This was taken from the launch event, the launch party. Borrowed other screenshots, or take a screenshot from others' videos. I'm sorry about that, but I just wanted to, just use it to make my point. You can see here, that's Damien Hardwick. Coaches, not only players have been face scanned in the game, so too have the coaches. All that I've seen, I saw, Hardwick, I saw Ross Lyon, saw Alistair Clarkson. I don't know if all coaches will have this. I would assume all 18 AFL coaches will have this. I don't think AFLW coaches will be included as well. I don't think so. But that just means that with this management career, could you make your own coach? Could you make your own coach and have it feature in the cutscenes in the game? And even doing so, I wonder if this might be a feature in the next AFL game that Big Ant will do, and that is have the coaches have a bigger role in terms of cutscenes. Where, for example, like there would be maybe, for example, there's a boundary throw in, and then it cuts to a cutscene of Simon Goodwin just telling instructions to a player, or or maybe choose whether you're up in the coach's box or not. Or down on the bench, and then when you concede a goal, there's footage of you just be frustrated at a goal that was scored against your team. I hope that that's going to be a feature, hopefully, in future games. But this one is a good start because we have not seen coaches being developed. Feature in face scan in the actual game before. This next shot is this one's beautiful. The mighty MCG it just looks, I don't know why, it just looks better than the first look trailers that were taken before the AFL Grand Final last year. It somewhat just looks better. The one thing I've noticed is the Toyota AFL Premiership logo and the Toyota logo are not present yet. And I've noticed in all of the gameplay stuff I saw on the night, which I was so hyped for, by the way, that there was no Toyota AFL Premiership logo and Toyota logo as field markings. So I wonder what they're going to do there. Or maybe they haven't added them in yet, but I'll assume that they'll be in at a later date. And then, of course, finally, the Grand Final trophy, the Premiership Cup. Just love the shine on it. The reflection just looks right. It just looks nice, in my opinion. And I like the fact that I wonder if this is actually from the game, because you can tell the reflection from the sun beating down on the actual camera used for this screenshot. Not this screenshot, sorry, from the vision from this trailer. It looks nice also, and judging by the setting, I believe this is probably a Twilight Grand Final that they've set here. So I don't know whether you could choose the times for the Grand Final. Maybe, I don't know if they're going to do what AFL Evo 2 did, and that is have a specific Grand Final mode in the Play Now mode. But yeah, so yeah, that is there you go. So the comparison here. So this was AFL Evolution. This is a screenshot from AFL Evolution 2. You can see here, of course, got the scoreboard hard in the top left. You got the map there, and then you got the icon there in terms of which player you're using. And of course, up here on the top, you can see here that it usually has, goal, this player, behind this player, free kick, this player, touch behind, yada, yada, yada. Really. So yeah. So, but that has now changed. This is what it looks like. So once again, it looks like the 7 broadcast thing as well. If I can go back, you can see that was based off of, the graphics that were used from 2018 to 2020 that were used. This one here is based off of real life, what Channel 7's using right now. In real life, I'm not a fan of this. More so from a beginner's standpoint, or a new person standpoint. I don't like this, but button design itself, it just looks great. Yeah, and instead of, and of course the icon now is on the top of the screen. If you guys saw that AFL trailer that they released before the start of the season, there was a bit of rumours, an innuendo that there was actually a bit of the game that was mentioned in the game, and in that it actually had the scoreboard HUD that was used for AFL Evo 1 up on the top here, and then there was this, but this time it was on this side of the screen. So I wonder if there is a feature that Big Ant haven't revealed, a minor sort of feature that you can actually edit the scoreboard or the on-screen displays. I wonder because this reminds me of I know this is a different sport, but I remember Codemasters did this for F1 2019, where they had a feature where you could edit the on-screen displays. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. I just did the opposite, by the way. Just make it bigger, make it smaller. Yeah, I wonder if you can do it again, but do it in this, but maybe change it to, for example, if you want it up there, for example, then you can. If you want it right here for just like what NBA 2K do, then you can do it. Or if you want it to stay in this position, then yeah, it'll be all right. Be all right as well. So that I think that is I believe what I believe it should be. And then also this is the vision of the vision, obviously the match setup screen for in the single player. You can see, of course, you've got match start, you've got match settings. Obviously, you can see here you got the wind here. You got the difficulty, you got the time, and because it sets here to 10 minutes. I don't know what the metal one is. I don't know if I don't know what that could be, and I don't know what the other one is as well. But you can see it's Richmond, Essendon. It's a 110 game at the MCG. You got Toby Dan Curtis and the great man himself, Zach Merritt, there as well. So yeah, that was that is the setup screen. Now to the full features list for the game. So these are the following. So play now. Jump into a match using AFL, AFLW, VFL, VFLW, Sample W, Waffle, and Waffle W teams. Play at one of over 30 fully recreated stadiums. That is massive. I wonder now how many teams is going to be now in the game, because I already know that, of course, AFL, AFLW, obviously, VFL, Sample, and Waffle, sorry. Neefle's no more, by the way. Those are already in the game. I wonder if at launch, or maybe there's like a DLC, I wonder, in the future for the under-18 league and the under-18 championship teams. Like the under-18 league, with the Northern Knights, Gippsland Power, and the Murray Bush Rangers, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, the under-18 championship with Vic Country, Vic Metro, South Australia, so on and so forth. I wonder if they're going to be as DLC in the game, because those were featured, I think, also in AFL Evo 1, but it was only for the 2018 season pack, and then in the full game for AFL Evo 2. I won't be surprised if they will be as DLC at a later date for this game after it comes out. Season. Play a season in any of the available leagues. Go through all the ups and downs of a season in the league you love. I wonder if in the future, this is a feature, maybe you can do like a custom season, where I know in the season maybe you could use your own custom teams in there, but I wonder if there's going to be like two sort of seasons where you have an official season where you have all the authentic 18 teams. For example, with AFL, we have all 18 teams, just as they are. Choose one of the teams, and then also there'll be like a custom season where you go AFL and you have the option of choosing which teams they're going to be in there, and even like custom seasons as well, like what they do with FIFA with the custom tournaments where you can edit how many teams are going to be in this like particular season, how many games, so on and so forth. So I wonder if that is going to be hopefully there'll be a feature in the future. But it looks like just play your usual season really. Nothing more, nothing less really from this sort of mode. Management career. Trade, recruit, and make your favourite AFL or AFLW club into a footballing powerhouse in the management career mode. Overseeing drafting and player development, you'll be in full control of your team's path to silverware. The one thing that I've always wanted with these last couple of games, which they didn't have this in AFL Live 2, they didn't have this in AFL Evo 1, and they didn't have this in AFL Evo 2. And that is an actual, calendar system. So they had this in FIFA, right? And in all these games, FIFA, and even in Cricket 22, they had this calendar system. They've had this, calendar system probably going back to Ashes Cricket back in 2017. They had this feature where, or maybe Don Bremen 17 maybe had this. But they had a calendar system where instead of just having, complete a match, you lose a game, and you just fast forward and it just automatically goes to the next game, goes to the next match. Instead of that, you have a similar, maybe a program, one day you train, you have training, another day you rest, another day you have light training, and then another day you have a full match simulation training, and then the next couple of days, if for example you have a Friday night game, on the first day you have a rest day, and then the Friday you play. So you play a game. So just a feature like that, and it also be good for the trade period as well, because I don't want to say this, but I think Wicked Witch were just lazy in terms of, yes, they added in the free agency period and that in AFL Evo 2. Other than that, they were just lazy, and that just the exact same. Yes, there were different designs in Live 2, Evo 1 and Evo 2, but they were just basically, deep down, they were basically the same. Just pick a player, use this, pick what draft pick, choose that, just accept it, and just the same, just the same design feature. But hopefully it changes. Hopefully has a similar sort of trade period where you have to have a similar sort of period where you basically need to sign your players and all that, and hopefully maybe in the future. I don't think they'll have this in this game, but for example, if you're if you play as North Melbourne in a career mode, for example, and you finish last and you get the number 1 pick, and on draft night you get with pick 1, and then afterwards there might be get into preseason training, and it's a similar thing to what they did in Cricket 22. They say, oh, is this player yada yada yada, and he's good, we've brought him through. I wonder if you do that where you have a couple of recruits you got from the trade period, and then 3 youngsters you got from the draft, and you showcase them all, and you go, yeah, these are the guys that we just brought in. I hope you make them feel welcome, yada yada yada. And if you bring in a certain amount of players that are going to be dominant in this field, maybe you never know, maybe it could boost morale. Maybe make a morale system, where if you bring in a player that everybody likes, then the morale will go up, and then basically the players will train better in the pre-season, and then it just dominoes will fall, and they'll play well when it comes to the actual season, and yeah. So I hope that they'll bring that it takes in the future, but I'm already 50 minutes on this video, so I might speed this up. Play online, play with up to 4 local co-op players online with cross-play enabled, which is a great feature, by the way, to take on any challenger anywhere. So cross-play, I would assume, I don't think it's what people would say. I haven't had any sort of news about this, heard anything about this yet, but I don't know if it's just going to be from all platforms, for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, or if it's just basically that console specific, like only PS5 and PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, or just PC. I don't know, but that is basically what it is. So this one's interesting. Training and tutorials. Learn how to play Aussie rules or play mini games like Arc Master, tackle training, markers up, and ruck rush. So I would assume Arc Master. I think that what it reminds me of is basically those 3-point challenges, or where I would assume if you've seen NBA All-Star games, it's all a 3-point thing. But this time it's probably different, where you have different distances, you have different angles, and you have to kick them from those distances. I would assume. Tackle training, I hope it has the good old tackle bag, hopefully. I hope that later, hopefully in a future game, hopefully one of the mini games hopefully included is hopefully specky training. Hopefully we can basically train doing speckies, pretty much like I remember doing that when I was a kid. Doing Auskick, practicing your speckies pretty much. Markers up. We all know we all played that game. We all played that game probably in school, so don't need to mention that. And ruck rush, that is pretty interesting. I don't know. Maybe you have maybe a specific time limit. You have 90 seconds to get as many ruck taps as possible during that time. I wonder. I don't know. You're versing an AI ruckman, and every time you win a ruck tap, maybe it advances time, and then if you lose a ruck tap, maybe you lose time. I don't know. Maybe that's what the rush thing is about. But yeah. Academy. Create your own clubs, players, and stadiums, then share them with the world online. The renowned Big Ant Studios Academy tools come to an AFL game for the very first time. I already said that in that. So. Said that in the video a few weeks ago. I think it's great, great to see these academy features. Obviously, it's been in the cricket games for years. It's been in their tennis games, and now it's going to be in their AFL game, and that'll be fantastic to see. And then Hall of Fame, view your previously won medal. Premierships in the Hall of Fame, which just basically an achievements menu, pretty much. Not much to go to there. This one is the biggest feature. This one was featured. Plus, we are working with the AFLPA, in other words, Player Association, to bring both current players and legends to life in a new mode of play not seen before in an AFL game. And I think I know what it is. And I think everybody knows what it is. An ultimate team-like mode. It's not going to equate to me because obviously I don't play online. But hopefully maybe in the future, at some point, maybe there might be a sort of thing where somehow they can import these legends into the single player modes. Like I said with the F1 games, they did import some legends to play in career mode. Hopefully they do that at some point. Or maybe I wonder if they did this in NBA. They've done this in NBA 2K for years, where they have legends teams like Chicago Bulls from 95-96, the Lakers side, for example, in 2007. Most recently, the Golden State Warriors side in 2014-15, the Cavaliers side from 15-16. They've had those sort of teams in the game. I wonder if they do the exact same thing. Like, for example, you have the Brisbane Lions 01-03 side, Hawthorn from 13-15, Essendon 2000, Carlton 95, even I don't know, Carlton from 1970. Just a random sort of team I can come up with as well. Just those sort of teams. Those are the only way I would believe to get them into single player. But that is just massive. I mean, everyone's been crying out for an ultimate team like mode. They did that in Cricket 22 with the Big 11 mode, and hopefully, it'll be the same thing. It hasn't been announced yet, hasn't been confirmed yet, or the name of it. But maybe it's called maybe Big 23, maybe Big 23 or Big 22. Just a bit of a copy from their cricket games basically. So yeah. Team ratings obviously the top. Collingwood. I don't know why Collingwood is up the top. You got 86 rated. You got Brisbane, Geelong, GWS, Port Adelaide, Richmond, and Sydney. 85 rated, Carlton, Essendon, Gold Coast, Melbourne, St Kilda, and the Western Bulldogs. 84 rated, Adelaide Crows, Fremantle. Are you kidding me? It is 84. North Melbourne and West Coast, and the only team that is 83 rated, the lowest rated team in the game, is Hawthorn. Some of them are not quite right. Like, how on earth is Collingwood the highest rated in the game? And remember, these are based off some of the all-round player ratings, and some of the player ratings, which I'll get to in a sec, are based off of champion data. So and speaking of player ratings, here they are. So, not surprisingly, of course, you're going to have the cover star at the top rated in the game, and I won't be surprised on the AFLW side of things that Darcy Vescio is one of the top rated players in the game. You got Oliver and Lockie Neal there at 94. You got Cripps and the Bont at 93. You got Shea Bolton, Tom Papley and Tom Stewart at 92. Then a whole heap of players between 91 and 90 rated. I'm not going to name all of them. You got Miller there. You got Tom Lynch. You got Dunkley, Cameron, Moore, and Charlie Cameron, and of course big Jeremy Cameron there as well. I still can't believe why he's not higher, to be honest. Then 90, you got guys like Chris Powell, DeGoey, McCluggage. You got Brayshaw. You got Jamie Elliott, Zach Merritt, Connor Rozee, Max Gawn, who looks better, as well as Lockie Neal looks better in April 23, to be honest with you. And of course, 89, you got rated. You got Gussie Brayshaw. You got Adam Sard. You got LDU, Sam Walsh. Surely he has to be 90 rated. Surely in the game, and then Jacob Wiedering, who is, I think, is one of the more underrated. So I think it's a bit harsh there with the 89 rating there as well. And that's just about it from that AFL 23 launch party. I don't know if there's going to be any more. That is just going to be revealed in the coming weeks before the game comes out. I can't wait to see actual gameplay of this game. Just looks absolutely unbelievable. So, like this video, share to anybody who's an AFL fan or an AFL gaming fan. Comment down below, are you hyped for this game? Are you hyped for this game? And what are your thoughts about the game as well? I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. And if you are hyped about this game, then as I said, yeah, drop a comment. And one last thing, somewhere down there, click on the big red button which is labelled subscribe. But until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later, and wherever you may be, may the sun or the moon shine on you.